Thank you all for coming to this video. My name is Taylor Perkins. I'm currently a data scientist, recently graduated from Nashville Software School in Nashville, Tennessee. Currently working as a back-end engineer as well. And I just wanted to walk through one of our projects that we did at Nashville Software School. And so at Nashville Software School, a company came to us. They gave us all these HTML files, and essentially our problem was to go through them, their SEC filings, and we were supposed to look for specific categories within that HTML. Some of those particular categories were like share repurchase, authorization, share repurchase intention. An example HTML document might look a little something like this, and maybe you can look for repurchase in here and find a section here where the company is talking about their plan. So on August 31st, 2017, we announced that our board of directors approved a share repurchase program authorizing us to repurchase up to $1 billion of our common stock over an approximate 4-year period expiring in September 2017 repurchase program, blah, blah, blah. So some of these financial statements, this is what we needed to extract, and there was a certain number of categories, 6 in total, and essentially this company came to us with some of these HTML documents already parsed, and they had a training set and said, these ones are talking about this category, here's the paragraph it's talking about it, here's the sentence it's talking about it. Based on these examples, we're going to give you 100 more HTML files, and you are going to parse through them and try to dig out the rest in an automated and scalable fashion. So our goal was to create a system that allows us to do that. And so each company has a ticker associated with them. Generally, they have an HTML file associated with it as well. Let's see if I can just go through this really quick. This is a little annoying. Projects, that, sure. So you got an HTML file and you upload it. And so this is a Flask app. It's super basic, but over here behind the scenes, it's taking this HTML file that we just uploaded, and right now it's training a model based off of the training set that they gave us, or it's creating a model that they gave us. And so you can read some of this stuff. There's no current weights in the training model found, so it's reading the training set. Our process for going through this problem is essentially breaking it down. We had the paragraph, we had the sentence, we had the actual values associated with each category per HTML file that was in our training set. And so we ultimately wanted to associate weights with every word that was found in the paragraph and tie that to paragraphs that are in our test HTML. In addition to that, we wanted to find intersecting words between each category. So this is a training process for the share repurchase authorization date. Adds tokens. It determines the weight based on the count, essentially. It finds the intersections, and the intersections happen to be December and share. And so in the training set that was given to us, for every paragraph with share repurchase authorization date as a category, both December and share were common amongst every paragraph. And so this is kind of a way to help us break down what we're looking for in our HTML that we just uploaded. We can say, okay, if we're looking for the share repurchase authorization date, exclude all of the paragraphs that don't include December or share. That's one of the ways that we did it. Cut those out, and from there, we scored them based on the weights and determined the most relevant ones. So we did that for all these different categories. And then down here, we go through each category and we try to find matches in the HTML. And so for this one, it's starting a process for share repurchase intention. So given that we've trained our model, now we're going to run our model against the test set for this category. So once we do that, we get the most relevant paragraphs based on the intersecting words. Perform a TF IDF over it, because now we have topics. You score the paragraphs based on the weights. You get the most relevant sentences, so the sentences that are actually talking about this stuff. Placing terms into buckets, and what I mean by terms is either dates, counts, or money that's associated with that sentence or paragraph. Update the data source, so you save off our results and you load it in. And so once that happens, you have this nice set. And so now over here our process is done, so we can choose a ticker, we can choose the accession number. This is the one that we just uploaded. And now these are all the categories that our model has pulled out of the HTML. So if we wanted to look at date, now you're given this nice UI. For this particular one, for the date, our target is date, and so what we should be looking for is the color blue. And so in each one of these boxes, you have the paragraph that's talking about your target specifically. And for this one, an example, as of December 31st, 2017 and 2016, 31,269 shares were accounted for as treasury stock. It's not necessarily what we're looking for, but it's pretty dang close, and it still has a pretty high score. And the score is kind of based on all this stuff. This is a pretty relatively big sentence, so that's probably why the score is so high, but it's still pretty close. So we can look down here instead and say, okay, following table presents the computation of earnings per share for the years ending these 3 years. So you can do that. Notice that you have money associated with money, you have the highlighted phrase right here, you have accounts associated with accounts, or the number. This can be either count like this or millions or whatever. You can go up to provide context to the paragraph in question. You can close these out. You can go down also. And so you can do that. You're able to choose the different categories that were determined. So right now we're on dates. Let's do count instead. Pretty similar, but this one actually has 3 different hits associated with it. It's a pretty heavy one. So now you can go over here and we can say, okay, that's great. I love what you guys are doing. It's fantastic. Let's choose another file. So let's go through this process again. Let's choose one random. Not necessarily random, but I don't know what this one is. So now, if we remember up here, we went through a training process, and we had to train our model initially because it didn't exist yet. And so now we're saying, okay, our model's been trained. We don't have to do this process again. All that we need to do is, based off of the already trained model, go ahead and predict our categories. And so that's what we're doing right here. We're skipping the training phase, and we're going right to the processing. So now we can go to ticker 2, choose the accession number that we just uploaded. Notice that there's 5, so sometimes it picks up more. Let's do intention. We borrowed $50 million, we purchased 2 million shares for $100 million and paid cash dividends on the $106 million. Through December 31st, 2015, under the program, we purchased 2 million shares of our common stock for $100 million. You know, this is some stuff that we bring out. And so this is an overall highlight of the project and what we tried to do. It's not perfect, but we wanted to incorporate a score associated with groups for specific categories. So thank you again for watching. I hope that you enjoyed it. Please feel free to reach out to me if you guys have any questions about the data, the process that I did to take this, and so on and so forth. So thank you.